two, one. Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another exciting episode of Delusions of Grandeur. I am one of your hosts, but today I am here with my buddy Boris, all the way from Croatia.
Hi.
Hi. So last week we finished off with at least the remake trilogy of I Spit on Your Grave. And today we are going back into Joe Sherlockian territory, where Joe
Well,
Sherlock is the man behind the production team of Skullface Astronaut, which originally was under a different film production title. What was that? Do you remember?
uh, FNC Productions.
FNC Productions. And what did that exactly stand for? Do you remember?
I think it stood for Fast and Cheap Productions.
Okay, but this film was filmed in 2014, or at least came out in 2014. What do you know about this film? Was it filmed in 2014, or was it edited in
Mm,
2014?
I'm not sure. I think it was something like that from 2013 or early 2014. I'm not sure exactly, but I remember it actually came out shortly after I discovered Joe Sherlock's movies and got interested in them.
Okay.
Let's see if the DVD copy I have says anything. No,
Well,
it doesn't have a year.
supposedly IMDb says it came out the 23rd of May in 2014. But
Could be.
let me say exactly what IMDb says about the film, and then we'll go into our first impressions of the film. So, a mysterious drifter hides out in a vacant house. He is losing his mind with bloody consequences for handymen, painters, and others who show up at the house. But why? A fun B horror ride filled with blood, guts, and hot chicks. So the film stars Dave Bowers, John Bowker, Sonia Davis, Shauna Dedick, Michael Hegg, Emily Howard, Richard Johnson, Bryn Christie, Sabrina Larivi, Stephanie Lunsford, Rob Miracle, Roxy Mountains, Bob Olin as the Drifter, and Kirk Sardonis, and Connor Sherlock. So, what was your first impression of this film? The first time that you had watched this? I know this wasn't your first time watch.
No,
About
it wasn't.
how many times have you watched this film before today?
That's an interesting question. The first time I saw it was, well, shortly after it was released, so that would be in 2014. Then I may have rewatched it at some point. Then I remember watching it once when I made a short music video tribute to it. You can find it on YouTube if you maybe want to show it as a part of our discussion. That would be an honor to me. Then there was one time when Joe Sherlock organized some kind of movie night online where everyone who wanted to participate would play their own copy of Drifter, and we would discuss it in the comment section on the Facebook post. So yeah, I guess, and now with you again, so I guess that would be 5 or 6 times.
I guess it's a Mo says the first time he saw it was when he lived it for he was there.
What?
Because our buddy Mo, who is part of our group on Inside Movies Galore, he lives in Oregon. So I guess it's a true story. Oh God! He said it's a true story. He was that drifter. So
Nice one.
I think he was making a funny, but
Definitely.
but this was my first time watching this film. I've been a collector of Joe Sherlock films, and a lot of the watching of them have been with you, my friend. So, and I liked that it had a kind of a vampirist esque like um, uh, uh, thing about it. I mean,
Yeah.
to me, the what was it that film called The Last One on the Left? No, the there's a movie that it has a vampire child who is like a vampire girl who has an old man as like one of her. Let the right one in. That's it. Let the right one in, and it's American remake of Let Me In. To me, it kind of reminds me of those two films because of the
Ooh.
fact that the director is connected to the vampire and is like doing her bidding, at least until he goes like crazy. So it wasn't. It definitely wasn't a bad film. I enjoyed it, and I think that a lot of the characters in Drifter were some of them were returning actors and actresses. Some of them were actresses that he hadn't worked with yet. So yeah, I mean Dale Wilson. I'm used to him with a mustache and. I'm used to him playing the Men in Black kind of a character for his other films. So
You mean Mr. Burt, right?
yeah, he plays Mr. Birch.
Yeah.
So let's look at the beginning of this film. The beginning of this film, you said he kind of has become kind of known for those fast moving scenes in the car that you said that you were talking to me about.
Uh,
What other films does he use that kind of a thing in?
oh yeah, what we saw in the opening credits of Drifter. Yeah, I have also seen that in Things 5 Strange Monsters, and in this newer project he's done for David Sterling called Seed. So yeah, I have seen it in a few Joe Sherlock movies. Maybe it has been in more. Actually, I just can't remember right now.
Now you have a copy of Drifter,
Oh,
don't you?
yes, right here.
Ah, so that's what the copy of the film looks like.
Yes.
I figured I'd have you show your copy, and I know I've got my copy around here somewhere. I just didn't want to dig it out. But in any case, so apparently there's this house that is known as Blood House. And this film was filmed in Oregon. And what do you think about the story of this blood house that we get in this this very beginning scene? This guy I guess he's dating some girl who and they end up coming into a place that is being painted by the ex boyfriend of the one chick, and they have been drinking. So, what do you think about this beginning scene here with these characters?
Mm,
Obviously, we got the lovers, and then we've got the chick who kind of heard something about the house, and why it's called Blood House. What do you think about that beginning hearings?
well, uh, it was an interesting scene because, before that happened, there were those legends about things that may or may not have happened in the Blood House in the past, but this is the only murder that we see take place in that house that we know for certain that it happened before the drifter arrives. All those things that are mentioned that happened before, like they are all stories, legends, things that may or may not have happened, probably didn't really happen, but this one really did. So aside from the main story with our main killer, this is the only murder that we saw in the house that really happened.
Well, and Joe here says one of the favorite movies he has ever made. So,
Oh, hi Joe.
so, and I like this one too. Mainly because it is the drifter is like a serious person. I mean, he's one badass mother. Oh, you know.
Definitely.
uh, he Bob Olin definitely played the character rather well. I mean, he
Oh,
ends up
indeed.
showing up um, and just kind of taking residence in the house. Um, and he ends up killing. Well, actually, isn't it? He kills the couple and the girl. Well, he slashes the throat of the one girl and then stabs the other guy, fucking the chick, and
Um, I'm not sure in which order the murders happened, but I think the first one who got killed by the drifter was John Bowker's character.
okay, because
Uh,
it seemed like the characters in the very beginning were killed by that ex boyfriend, and that wasn't necessarily the drifter, was it?
no, that wasn't him. That scene took place before the drifter came into that house. That
Okay,
first
so not
killer
only was
was.
there the drifter killing people, there were murders happening in the area that were not connected with the drifter.
Yeah, well, that's what I said. There was that one murder, which is the only one that we saw take place at that house before the drifter arrived. And before that murder happened, there were those legends and stuff about things that maybe happened in the house in the past, but they are all just stories that probably didn't really happen. But then there was this one murder that did happen, and the killer killed himself eventually, and then after that, the drifter arrived.
Well, and at about this time, we get the character of the guy who's going to try to sell the house outside, outside people, and he makes a bet with one of his counterparts that he's going to be able to sell the place, right?
Yeah.
And things begin to happen. What do you think about those things? I mean, I believe a niece of theirs shows up at the place, uh, and she gets a bunch of paint splattered all over herself. What does she do next?
Yeah, she goes to take a shower. And yeah, that's a pretty interesting shower because it has a curtain that's all transparent and see through. Like, in spite of the curtain, you can see everything.
Well, and then of course, there's another character that shows up that apparently has something to do with the painting crew. Uh, and who is that character?
Wait, I'm not sure. Are you referring to John Bowker's character or Floyd Sumner's character? There, there were a few people that entered there.
I believe it was Ken,
Oh,
John Bowker's character.
yeah, yeah. He was the first one who entered. I think he was the maintenance guy or something like that, from what I understood. He was, yeah, he was supposed to do some work there, but the drifter got him. Uh,
And so after those two end up getting offed, then what happens?
Uh, Wait, before the girl got killed, this plumber came, the Floyd Sumner's character. I think his name was Bill.
Yeah.
And yeah, uh, he left, but from what I remember, he went back to the house, and the drifter killed him as well. And then eventually, Don, this main character, the realtor, he starts to realize that something is going on because everyone whom he sends to the blood house ends up going missing.
Well, and all the while this is on, it seems like his relationship with his either significant other or wife is diminishing because how much attention that he is spending on this whole house. What do you
Yeah,
think about his relationship with his wife? I believe that's his wife.
yeah. From what I understood, she is. Well, they seem to be a fairly realistic married couple. The woman looked pretty good.
Yeah, she did. She definitely did look pretty good. So,
Yeah.
um, so after that, then we have the couple who ends up coming and checking out the house. What did you think about the couple there?
Well, they were kind of interesting. The first scene when they appeared was kind of funny with remarks about the girl being with him because of his, we know what. That was a funny dialogue there. And yeah, then there was this scene when the realtor was taking them through the house, hoping they would buy it and so on. But when he left, they secretly entered again, thinking they might see something that he didn't want to show them and stuff like that. And so they ran into the drifter, and the rest is history.
Yep. So ultimately, the guy who is part of the couple, he ends up going upstairs, and then he gets attacked by the drifter, and then she also gets attacked by the drifter. And that's when we get that phone call around from the realtor that he's left several calls pertaining to the handyman and the plumber that were supposed to take care of things, and he's not getting a hold of them. So he also ends up showing up at the house. And what do you think about this part here where he shows up and runs into the drifter?
Well, actually, before he did that, there was also another guy who he sent there. This guy called Andy. He was also sent there and pretty much suffered the same fate as the others. And then, yeah, that was when Don decided to go there himself and he had an argument with his wife about it. And yeah, oh wait, even before that happened, I think when the drifter dragged Andy to the basement, that was when we got to know the main plot twist of the movie that yeah, that the drifter wasn't really doing it for himself, and that was something I found rather creative in this story. That the main killer isn't really doing it for himself, but that he is under some kind of a spell of a superior villain who we didn't get to see earlier throughout the movie. This one vampire chick who is I would say one of the most terrifying, although not the most terrifying character in Joe Sherlock's universe.
I would say terrifying looking, and
Yeah.
I also like the fact that the weapons that the drifter uses were just any tool that was just lying around. Like he knocks the one dude out with a hammer to the back of his head, and the dude's like out. So um,
Yeah.
just the fact that he's evidently able to have like this ultimate strength, and at first because I didn't realize that he was being controlled, it almost looked like dude the drifter, Bob Owen's character, had like some kind of remorse towards like every time that he killed, and because he was feeling remorse, maybe he was like coming out of that spell just for a little bit while he was just going like you know
Phew.
um,
Interesting point. Well, we did see him have some sort of reactions to what's going on and to what he's doing, but I think it was kind of left up to interpretation whether that was remorse or his physical health starting to deteriorate as a result of what the vampire woman was doing to him because she was keeping him under some sort of spell. And when he dragged that guy Andy into the basement, we saw her do something with her finger in front of his face, something like this, and he was following her finger. And that was, from what I understood, her way of checking if he was still strong enough to keep doing the job. And eventually, well, spoiler alert, here is the main spoiler of the movie. when he knocks Don out and takes him to the basement. Then she does that to the drifter again and realizes he is too exhausted and that he would probably die soon anyway. So she kills him and decides to take the next guy to start doing his job.
And what do you think about Dale Wilson's character here, especially towards the end, especially since he's the one to continue the role of the controlled vampire killer?
Uh, that's not Dale Wilson. I think that's Richard Johnson.
Okay.
Dale Wilson was the guy with Joe Sherlock's character, the police officer or whatever he was.
Okay. So, what do you
Uh,
think about the character that was to take up the role that the Drifter could not anymore?
yeah, well, that's this guy Don, the main character of the movie. Yeah, I guess I didn't expect that kind of ending for him originally. I mean, the first time I saw the movie, and it kind of left me wondering. It's a fairly open ending because before that happened, we saw him have arguments about his wife and everything, and we didn't get to see what happened with the wife after that. Like, she would probably be left wondering where her husband was. She would be looking for him and everything, which kind of leaves room for a potential sequel that hasn't happened so far, although we never know, maybe it will happen.
Oh, yeah. So, what do you think about the idea of all these bodies in the basement, and how do you think that like none of the others like came across them?
Well, we saw the drifter drive the skeletons away in the car after the vampire girl finished eating them. I guess he was disposing of them in kind of Norman Bates style or something.
Well, what do you think about the house and the surrounding, place around it? Did we get to see like a lot of like the area around the house, or just a lot of it inside the place?
Well, from what I remember, we saw more of inside than outside, and I guess it's an average house where people probably live in real life. As far as I know about Joe Sherlock's movies, his films are usually shot at locations that he has available at the time to shoot at. So I guess he got the place from someone from the cast and crew or something. I don't know exactly whose house it was, but probably it probably belonged to someone he knows.
Definitely. So, ultimately, what did you think of the end product? I thought it was pretty decent. I mean, to me, I even got a kick out of the kid who was like saying this was the refrigerator of blood, and this was
Oh yeah, yeah. We almost forgot to mention him. That's Connor Sherlock's character. Yeah, actually, that's an interesting thing. Funnily enough, we have just mentioned that it's an ordinary looking house, and that's pretty much what he points out. Like, he is filming it with his phone, the shelves, the refrigerator, and everything, and he makes fun of how ordinary it all looks until he suddenly gets knocked out.
um. Is there anything that you would have changed if there was a possibility?
Well, I would maybe make it a little longer because it was really good fun and the whole movie lasts for about an hour or so. I wish it was a bit longer than that.
Really?
Yeah.
What, you want more victims or whatnot?
Well, in a movie like this, where it's all portrayed, well, in my opinion at least, not too seriously. It's not like pure horror movie. It's more like a horror comedy, to me at least. So yeah,
Well, and it all seems to be like victims that seem to be just showing up at this house. It's not like it's going to like random houses in the general district, going from house to house, drifting from house to house. It's in one singular place that all of this is happening. So
yeah,
I thought it was pretty decent, and the kills were done differently enough. So. Um,
indeed.
if there was a favorite scene, what would you take from this particular film? Because this is a very straightforward film. There's not a whole lot that you can entirely like delve into deeply, but there are some interestingly enough and serious moments that this drifter ends up going through. So um, I have to give Bob Willen credit for stealing like the screen for this, like almost like three quarters of this film.
Yeah. Well, I think maybe my favorite scene would be when the drifter was out at some loading zone or something like that, and this one worker came to him and said something like, "Sir, you can't park a car here. This is a loading zone." And the drifter just gave him that glare of doom, and the guy freaked out and said, "Have a nice day."
Okay, I think my favorite scene would probably be where Connor Sherlock's character
Ah,
was just saying these are the shelves of blood. This is the refrigerator of blood. Ooh, ah. You know, some reason I just kind of laughed at that particular moment. But as far as kills go, what was your favorite kill?
let me think. Uh, well, they were all pretty good, but maybe I would go with the one with the couple because that was where we saw him kind of struggle against his victims, and it was a bit more suspenseful than the others. That's kind of since he starts to struggle to kill people, that's where we see the progressive deterioration of his strength as a result of what's being done to him. And that's where we get some sort of mystery aspect to the movie because before the vampire woman appears, we don't really know what's happening to him, why he is having these reactions and appearing weaker and weaker as the story goes on.
Mm-hmm. So props to the makeup involved in making sure that the drifter actually looked like he was deteriorating. So,
Oh, indeed.
and if I remember correctly, Rob Miracle does some of that, doesn't he?
Oh, yes, yes. I think he was, or probably still is, the makeup artist in most of Joe Sherlock and John Bowker's movies.
Oh yeah. So in any case, and
Or Rob Merico had an interesting scene in the movie as well.
uh, yeah, he played Reggie, didn't he?
Yes, the ice cream guy.
And what did the ice cream guy do in here?
Well, actually, he worked at morgue or something like that, from what I understood. And there was this funny thing where he was asked where he was keeping his ice creams because he offered an ice cream to Don, and the joke was that he may or may not be keeping the ice creams in the same freezer where he has the dead bodies. And he said that he didn't, that he was keeping them in a separate freezer. But then there was a scene of Don talking to the cops, and they said, "Yeah, of course, he would tell you that." Like maybe he is keeping the ice creams with the dead bodies after all.
So here are a couple of notes from Joe here. Evidently, if he realized something, Bob Olin did not have any dialogue. Also, evidently, Bob Olin also did his own makeup.
Oh, wow, I didn't know that.
And I guess Rob and Joe, they ended up doing the kills, and, the gore, and the monster makeup. And apparently, all the characters in Drifter were named after the cast and crew from Phantasm. So there were also
Oh,
some several nods and lines, evidently from Phantasm in Drifter. So,
oh, that's pretty cool. I like to do kind of similar things in my writing sometimes.
alrighty. And the music was done, I believe, by Steve Sessions, but I believe that Joe Sherlock had something to do with the music as well.
Oh,
So,
probably.
but other than that, I guess my favorite kill would probably be the same couple of situation. I think that when a killer goes through um a progression, and like when you make the kills look too easy, and you actually have them actually fight against someone to kill them, making the fight scenes longer. I think that's a little bit more interesting when you bring that aspect to the film. So
Yeah,
um,
good
if
point.
we had a few more of those, maybe making the film a little bit longer, I could see that. And so that you can see the different fight moves, but that can be for perspective. Perspective sequel down the way. You never know. And according to Joe, he said, knowing Bob, he may have done that. So,
Well,
um,
Bob's character is actually supposed to be dead, so if he came back, that would quite be something.
well, who knows? Maybe it can be like a seeker drifter kind of a sequel, you know. So,
Oh.
but other than that, I think that's it that I have to say about the film. Is there anything that you can think of that you would uh, you might have thought of about the film?
Oh, well, yeah, I mentioned I had a music video on YouTube that I made a few years ago, a music video tribute to this movie. So, would you possibly be interested in showing it in our discussion?
Right now,
Well, I thought so, but if it's not convenient for you, you don't have to.
no, I can show it if the music will be allowed on YouTube. Was it music created by you, or was it
No,
music used from other musicians that are public? Because it's very possible if I stick it in here that YouTube could probably be like, nope, not letting you.
uh, well, good point. Actually, I'm not sure. I mean, when I put the music video on YouTube, nothing went wrong. Although that was in 2017, if I remember correctly. So I'm not
Well,
sure if they have got
send me the link, and I'll see what we can do. And if YouTube fucks with us, well, we know what to do.
Yeah, just give me a moment to. Ah, I found it. Copy link location. Just a moment. I will send you the link on Facebook.
And ladies and gentlemen, again, yeah, it is the music is copyrighted, so we may or may not have a problem with it, but we'll try to show it to you, ladies and gentlemen. If anything, who knows? Maybe they'll let us get away with it.
Yeah. Oh, here. I'm sorry. Something went wrong. Took me a moment to find the link and send it to you, but check your Facebook Messenger. It should be there.
All right, found it. And give me just 1 second. Should be one little second here. Let's see if I can't. Oh. I gotta download it some other way. So give me 1 second. Oh.
The song is Psycho Killer by Talking Heads. It's a song from my Halloween playlist.
Just got to give me a moment to get it here, ladies and gentlemen. So sorry about the wait. Shouldn't be too long here. I guess this is a Drifter tribute that we're about to see. Should be kind of fun. So
I hope so.
Let's see. And
when I make music videos, I always try to find a fitting song, and I always try to match the lyrics with the movie clips. Well, you will see now.
Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run away. You start a conversation, you can't even finish it. You're talking a lot, but you're not saying anything. When I have nothing to say, my lips are sealed. Say something once, why say it again? Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run away. Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Better run away. Ce que j'ai fait, Psycho killer, qu'est-ce que c'est? Run, 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 run away.
And he's got to have some strength to drag these bodies everywhere too. So
Definitely.
that vampire needs to take a shower, doesn't he?
Indeed.
Right?
Yeah.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, I think that's all the time that we have for today, folks. So definitely check the film out when you get a chance. It's definitely a good a good nod to the slasher film, I think, and you can find it at skullfaceastronaut.com if you want to get a copy of it. I'm sure it's not too much. I'm sure it won't take a whole chunk out of your wallet if you want to get a copy of it. So
Yeah, I think it's available on DVD unless it got sold out, but I think it is still available, and it can also be rented or purchased digitally on Vimeo, which which is somewhat cheaper, I think. So yeah, if you want to see it, there are multiple options, and definitely it's worth checking out.
I
It's
also think that David Sterling is actually selling a copy on his website too. So definitely get a
I
chance
think
to
so. Yeah.
get a chance to get a copy of it from either source. So thank you for listening. Have a great day, evening, or morning, wherever you are. Yep, on VOD, on Skullface Astronaut VOD, and Amazon Prime. So give it a chance, ladies and gentlemen. And next week we'll be discussing Joe Sherlock's Blood Creek Woodsman. So
Yay!
keep
I
an eye
like
out for that
one.
discussion. And same time, same Skull channel. Have a good afternoon, evening, or morning, folks.